commune, l'honorable Anthony Rota. Dirigé par l'huissier du bâton noir, M. Greg Peters. Veuillez demeurer debout pour l'arrivée des présidents d'Assemblée du Commonwealth. Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by the pages of the Senate and the pages of the House of Commons of Canada. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir. Before we begin, I would like to inform you that parts of the speeches will be delivered in French. We have interpretation devices located in front of you. It is my pleasure to welcome you this morning as you take part in this special ceremony marking the opening of the 25th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth. Today, we're gathered in the traditional land of the Algonquin people. To mark the beginning of the conference, I would like to invite Algonquin Elder, Mrs. Claudette Comenda, to deliver the opening blessings. Mrs. Comenda.
Your Excellency, Speaker of the House of Senate, Speaker of the House of Commons, distinguished speakers and presiding officers of the Commonwealth, and guests, colleagues, friends, and relatives. I will begin by addressing you in my language, the Algonquin Anishinaabe o Mamawenene, one of Canada's many original languages. And I say to each and every one of you, Pijajik niwichkiwedug, Pijajik Ibijan o ma nongom, Anishinaabe eki o Mamawenene wag, Pijajik kakina. Bienvenue tout le monde ici à la territoire ancestral de mes peuples algonquins. Bienvenue ici. Je suis très fière de donner des mots de bienvenue et aussi de donner des mots de bénédiction. I honor and I welcome each and every one of you to this beautiful, unsurrendered, unceded territory of the Algonquin people, the homeland of my ancestors since time immemorial. And I am very honored to address you. I'm very honored to bring forward a greeting. It is said in our teachings that any time that visitors come to our homeland, we are to welcome you with love, with kindness, and respect. And it is also said that we must always begin, anytime we come together, begin in that good way by offering a prayer or a blessing. So to you, my friends, I will say these words in my language. I will ask the Creator to bless you, to bless your conference, to bless the work that you're doing, to bring forward good life, good health, prosperity, wisdom, and knowledge, and strength for the work that you do each and every day for your countries, for your people. That we must all come together with that one mind, one heart, one spirit. Miigwech kishimanado, miigwech onje nongom, miigwech onje kakina. Miigwech jojoaki, kokamistepekizis, mishomiskizis, miigwech. Miigwech nabishan, mishkiki. Miigwech awesesag. Nibuksendam gishimanado onje nongom kakina. Nibuksendam minapamadzuin, mashkawizuin, zagieduin. Nibuksendam keabaj kijigun onje kakina. Creator, we thank you for bringing us together. Ninemi yawin onje kakina. My prayer for everyone who is here. Creator, we give you thanks for this beautiful day. We thank our Mother the Earth, and we thank all those natural elements that you've blessed us with each and every day, our grandfather sun and our grandmother the moon, and the water life and the plant life and the medicine life and the animal life and all of human life, all that is above and all that is below. And we honor you, Creator, for blessing us with life. It is my prayer, Creator, Nin Emiya Winonji Kakina, that you continue to bless the people, Minapamadzwin Nongo Mashishwabang, today and tomorrow, Creator. Bless them with that good life and that good health. And Creator, give them the strength that they need for this good meeting. We call in the ancestor Nijen Wendaganagam and Abagis, Widokushnong Onje Kakina. Creator, we thank you for the greatest gift that you've given us, life. And we thank you, Creator, that we exercise another great gift that you give us, love. Nin Nemiya Winonje, Nibuksendam, Mashkawe Ziwin Nongo Mashishwabang. Miigwaj gishimana do onje, kinawin emiyawin. And Creator, we thank you for bringing us together, and we acknowledge your strength, and we thank you for your guidance, and we acknowledge the ancestors. And I end my prayer by acknowledging each and every one of you, your ancestors. And let us always remember where we come from and acknowledge our relatives who have gone on into that spirit world that continue to help us. Acknowledge our relatives who are here today. And I thank you for being here, and I thank you for the work that you do. Miigwaj niwich kiwedug ayang gwamazin nigawabmin. And I take this time to bless you and to say my wish for you for 2020, that the Creator continues to bless you with goodwill, with health and happiness. Miigwaj, thank you.
Thank you, Elder Comenda. Pour débuter, j'invite Son Excellence, la gouverneure générale du Canada, à nous adresser la parole. I would like to invite the Governor General of Canada, Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Julie Payette, to deliver opening remarks. Excellency.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, bonjour, bienvenue, bienvenue dans cette magnifique salle du Sénat du Canada. Welcome into the venerable walls of the Senate of Canada. What a pleasure. I'd like to acknowledge Elder Comenda and welcome you in the beautiful Algonquin language, because we are on the ancestral land of the Algonquin people. Dans la langue magnifique du peuple algonquin, j'aimerais vous saluer tous et vous souhaiter la bienvenue. Nidanamikwak, kakina anishnawek, umaka tewach. It is a particular pleasure to be here together and to welcome you, to address you in this important house. This is actually my first function in the New Year's, probably your first function too, I would suspect, I hope so. But I was here not too long ago. It seems like we were quite busy in December. We actually conducted two of the most fundamental exercises of our constitutional monarchy and our parliamentary democracy. We delivered a speech of the throne right here to state the intentions of the new government. And then shortly after that, we provided a royal assent. So it seems like I come here quite a lot. But the true thing is that the Commonwealth of Nations is a remarkable union of diverse nations and jurisdictions. 53 different members that touch every single continent of this planet, representing almost a third of the world population. Small, big, poorer, richer, we're all united. And we come together, and that's the beauty of it, by choice. This is a free organization. We come together by choice because we've chosen to share values, to share languages, to share parliamentary traditions, and of which so many of you in this room right here, right now, are upholding in your own jurisdiction, in your own country. I, for one, actually am quite familiar with what it means, because every day in your own parliaments, in your own House of Commons, in your own seat of government, you work every day to make sure that things happen, that things work out. You seek collaboration from your constituent, and you have, as Speaker and presiding officers, to look beyond just the day-to-day things, but a lot better in a collaborative spirit, so that you can look out for the greater good, the common good of your people. And I, for one, have had a chance to experience what the incredible power of working together. Because in my previous life, I am a former astronaut, and I had the chance to fly in space on board international spaceship with people from different nations. To this day, today, we have 6 human beings on board the International Space Station in orbit of the planet. Of those 6 people, there are 3 Americans, 2 ladies, 2 Russians, and 1 Italian. But just very recently, there was a Canadian on board because it is an international space station. It has been flying in space for more than 7,000 days, almost 20 years, permanent presence of human beings in space with different nations. Pieces of that space station have been built by different nations in different countries, and in some cases in different measurement systems. And still it works together every day of the year, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It works because of that power. I bring to you this example, not because we're going to, and your discussion in this conference will have to do anything with the International Space Station, but because some of its lessons you can bring back and can be useful to us all. First, the fact that it is incredible what people of different nations, different people, can do and can achieve when they work together, when they put their smarts, their will, and their resources together to advance that common good, that greater good, for the prosperity of their people. And your role in your jurisdictions, in your countries, in your own parliament, is not at all dissimilar to what we are seeing right now at the edge of the known world on the International Space Station, because you must pull everyday consensus from arguments, and then to make sure that you look beyond party, beyond emotions, to rally everybody in the right and the same direction for the prosperity of the people and the advancement of knowledge. I think we are very fortunate, and I hope you realize that, to be part of the Commonwealth of Nations and to be able to rely on the rock that we stand called the Commonwealth Charter of 2013. An extraordinary document I'm sure you are familiar with that outlines the key issues that concern us all now and those that will bring us into the future. The Charter reaffirms our commitment to peace, to human rights, to freedom of expression, to freedom of religion, to the importance of guarding and preserving the environment, to ensure equality amongst all people, and to provide, ensure, and work together so that everyone has access to healthcare, education, and food in a world, unfortunately, where millions still struggle to achieve these basic rights. For example, in the Commonwealth Charter of 2013, there is the Commonwealth Blue Charter. It was signed by every single one of the 53 members in an effort to collaborate, to solve ocean-related problems, and to ensure the richness of our oceans is preserved in a sustainable manner. Within the Charter, there's the Climate Finance Access Hub, which will help countries figure out the red tape in getting funding for environmental-related aspects and be able to get the funds to address climate change. And we know here that we have a representative from the country down under who is suffering right now enormously from these very effects. Within the Charter, there's also the connectivity agenda, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, which we will increase trade, inter-Commonwealth nations trade, so that we can all benefit from that prosperity. But more interestingly, and I don't know if you know this, but there is now a new initiative by the Commonwealth Secretariat that is called Sports for Development and Peace. Well, in just a few days from now, I will be at the Youth Olympics in Lausanne, and I'm also a member of the International Olympic Committee Women in Sport Commission. Using sport in order to help people develop, work together, collaborate. Interestingly, because sport also has a competitive aspect. But I really strongly believe that because of its widespread, every single one of the people from your countries love sport in some ways or another. Because of its reach, because of its rule-based competitiveness, because of its reach for excellence, sports is an excellent platform to promote progress and to promote agenda of gender equality and political inclusivity. So, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, je vous souhaite une excellente 25e conférence des Nations du Commonwealth. I hope you will take advantage of it. Learn from each other. You are here to benefit from one another and your experience. And remind yourselves, please, of the basic rules that govern our actions and our deliberations within a government. Those rules are to exchange ideas with respect, to build your argument with rigor, to make decisions based on facts and evidence as a guide, and to use the institutions that you steward for the equality and for the progress of the people you serve. And last but not least, to do so in harmony, in collaboration, even if there are differences, so that you looked beyond party line, beyond nation line, and that you serve for the prosperity of all people. All of us, we share the human race. Bonne conférence. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Excellence. I would now like to invite the Speaker of the Senate of Canada, the Honourable George Furey, to speak. J'invite le président Furey à nous adresser la parole.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Speaker Rhoda, fellow speakers and presiding officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I begin by again recognizing Elder Commanda and thanking her for that very wonderful blessing that she has brought to not just us as individuals, but to our work as well. And thank you very much. It's a tremendous honor and pleasure for me to welcome you to the Senate chamber in our new Senate of Canada building for the 25th Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference. At this conference's inaugural meeting in Ottawa in September of 1969, Honourable Lucien Lamoureux, Speaker of Canada's House of Commons at the time, set the stage for regular meetings of speakers and presiding officers of the Commonwealth. He believed that they would prove invaluable to our unique positions, our country's democratic systems, and the Commonwealth in general. Ce forum permet au président d'échanger des idées, de partager les meilleures pratiques et d'explorer différentes approches. Plus important encore, il offre la possibilité de développer des relations significatives qui sont un élément important pour les institutions parlementaires du Commonwealth. The more effective we are in our roles, the stronger debates and parliamentary processes can be, and correspondingly, the more faith our citizens will have in our parliamentary systems of government. We can all appreciate the unique vantage point of observing and assisting colleagues from the chair and the unpredictability that comes with such a role. Nos mandats nous obligent à mettre de côté nos allégeances personnelles et politiques afin d'assurer que les droits et les privilèges de tous les parlementaires sont respectés et protégés. Ainsi, nous nous engageons à l'impartialité, ce qui est essentiel à la confiance et la bonne volonté qui existent au sein de nos chambres. While our roles grant us a bird's-eye view of the political landscape, they also come with a certain degree of solitude. There are few people with whom we can share the challenges of moderating parliamentary debates within our legislatures. This is why this conference has endured and produced constructive results for over 50 years. Il est toujours enrichissant d'échanger des points de vue avec des pairs qui partagent une expérience similaire, même si les systèmes et procédures de nos pays peuvent être différentes. En effet, il se peut même qu'une meilleure compréhension de nos différences contribue à la qualité de nos rencontres. An advantage of having this conference in Ottawa, apart from our frosty weather, is that it provides an opportunity to compare the two different bodies that make up our federal parliament. This is particularly true now that the Senate and the House of Commons are located in separate buildings for the first time since our Confederation. Pendant que nous passerons du temps ensemble, il conviendra de réfléchir aux différences et aux similitudes entre les deux chambres du Parlement et celles des autres assemblées législatives canadiennes. It is no surprise that the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference takes place under the auspices of the Commonwealth of Nations. We are united by our diversity, by our shared history, and by our commitment to parliamentary democracy. Before I conclude, I would like to take a moment to thank Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Julie Payette, our Governor-General, for taking time from her very busy schedule, especially this time of the year, to spend time with us this morning. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I wish also to recognize the incredible team at our International and Interparliamentary Affairs Directorate. This joint directorate supports the Parliament of Canada in establishing and maintaining relations with our parliaments, from the simple exchange of information to formal visits to large conferences such as this one. Merci à tous et à toutes pour vos efforts au cours des dernières semaines et des derniers mois pour planifier les événements de cette semaine, surtout pendant la période des fêtes. I also wish to thank each of our delegates for your participation in the conference. We all share a great number of common issues and challenges, and our discussions will no doubt guide us in our ongoing work as presiding officers and as parliamentarians. Meetings of this nature offer valuable opportunities for interparliamentary dialogue. They increase our collective understanding of the mechanisms available to assist us in running the business of our assemblies, both inside and outside of our chambers. I know that the work we accomplished this week and in the coming years will continue to reflect that. As this marks my 5th year as Speaker of the Senate of Canada, I'm fortunate to be participating in this conference for the 2nd time. My first was in the Seychelles 2 years ago, and I sincerely hope that this conference is equally pleasant and productive despite the awesome temperature change. Encore une fois, merci à tous et à toutes d'être ici parmi nous aujourd'hui. En mon nom et en celui de tous mes collègues au Sénat, je vous souhaite une semaine productive et un excellent séjour à Ottawa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Speaker Fury. I'm now pleased to invite to the podium the Speaker of the House of Commons of Canada, the Honourable Anthony Rota. Monsieur le Président.
Merci beaucoup. Your Excellency, Speaker Fury, fellow speakers, and presiding officers, distinguished guests, mesdames et messieurs, first and foremost, a warm welcome to you on this somewhat chilly day to most of you. For us in Ottawa, it's actually a warm day, believe it or not. Let me assure you that my fellow Canadians and I feel the cold as much as you do when it is cold outside. However, over time, we have learned to adapt to the weather by perfecting our swearing in both official languages. Comme l'a dit le président Fury, nous sommes ravis d'être avec vous alors que nous nous réunissons à Ottawa, cette 25e conférence de présidents du Commonwealth. It's a matter of great pride to us that the very first conference was held in Canada in 1969. Initiative created by the Honourable Lucien Lamoureux, 27th Speaker of the House of Commons, it focused on the role of speakers within parliamentary institutions. Then, as today, the aim of the conference was to maintain, foster, and encourage impartiality and fairness on the part of speakers and presiding officers of parliaments, promote knowledge and understanding of parliamentary democracy in the various forms, and develop parliamentary institutions. In 2004, my predecessor, Speaker Peter Milliken, had the pleasure of hosting his fellow Commonwealth speakers and presiding officers, and now, following my election as Speaker of the House of Commons of Canada in December of 2019, I'm honoured to receive you along with Speaker Fury. I'm very new to this role, and this is a wonderful opportunity for me to learn from so many experienced colleagues and to discuss issues of common concern. This gathering offers us some time to engage in meaningful discussions on matters of importance to each of us, individually, as speakers, and to us as community of leaders within the legislatures. L'année dernière, nos pays ont célébré le 70e anniversaire du Commonwealth moderne et le thème choisi pour cet anniversaire était un Commonwealth connecté. Je pense que cela décrit très bien l'engagement mondial qui a été réalisé grâce à la détermination de notre famille de nations culturellement et géographiquement diversifiées à travailler ensemble dans l'amitié. In fact, we too have come together for a family of reunions of sorts. Because the Commonwealth is a family, large, diverse, and far-flung, and while we may be separated geographically, every member is bound to one another by shared values of democracy, free speech, human rights, and the rule of law, even as each carves out its own unique path for itself and for its people. Like any family, we've had our differences over the years, but we have also supported one another in difficult times and celebrated our achievements. Our governments, institutions, and people connect on a number of levels. We work together to protect our natural environment and the ocean which we share and that connects many of our nations. We cooperate on trade to encourage economic empowerment for all people, in particular women and youth and marginalized communities. We take part in academic exchanges and friendly sporting rivalry, and we encourage our young people to participate in sports for development and peace. The Commonwealth is an important tool for action for parliaments seeking change. Et cette conférence des présidents du Commonwealth ne fait pas que promouvoir les institutions démocratiques et parlementaires, elle constitue également un forum au sein duquel les présidents des parlements du Commonwealth peuvent discuter des meilleures pratiques au sein de leur législature respective. This flexibility allows the presiding officers from large and small, old and newer countries of the Commonwealth to meet and discuss issues from their own unique perspectives. Cette année, nous explorons une variété de thèmes, de transparence à l'adaptabilité, de la sécurité et de l'inclusivité. Nous entendrons plusieurs de nos collègues et apprendrons comment leurs expériences ont façonné leur Parlement et comment nous pouvons tirer parti de leurs connaissances. One of the things that I've often said is when people come together in trade, it's usually you come out fair and one exchanges with the other and you hope that there's some kind of parity there. The nice thing about coming together and exchanging ideas is everyone comes away with more than they came with. And each one of us gets to give and the other one goes away with more. So it's not a zero-sum game. It actually multiplies and we each go away much richer than when we came. In addition to offering participants plenary sessions and workshops in this splendid Senate building and in the newly renovated West Block, which houses the interim House of Commons, the Parliament of Canada is eager to show off some of our many attractions of our capital and what it has to offer. Over the next few days, you will have the chance to see the National Gallery and take part in some winter activities at the Chateau Montebello. I will even volunteer to show you how to build a snowman, if you wish. So once again, welcome to Canada's Parliament and the 25th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth, and let us make the most of this opportunity to come together, celebrate our friendship, and continue to strengthen the Commonwealth ties that bind us. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Miigwech.
Merci. Thank you, Speaker Rota. This concludes the official portion of the ceremony. On behalf of Speaker Fury and Speaker Rota, I thank you for being with us today. I would ask that you now rise for the departure of the Governor General, followed by the speakers and presiding officers of the Commonwealth. Veuillez vous lever pour le départ de la gouverneure générale et des présidents d'Assemblée.